Mwana wa mai Kuri say I'm in the streets every day, getting that dog, getting that dog. Getting on my streets every day, and then I chuck a bag, kunge mane kuchikoro. Yeah, tapindira, kuva kumakomo, bonza batane apple, fara muromo. Can't you afford a check game, holler at your boys. I'm spending that cash, kunge what a boy. I'm the hardest in the streets, ask a chick boy. I got game like Timbari, to chuck a mari. Just a can't go parari. Apararwe, vakati wanna track a news, Ruben Barwe. It's been a minute, been on the hustle, coming back looking fresh, this is one wacho. Mari haingo dona, kunge mujanje. Dos like a cheap panda from Monday to Sunday. That's quarter meter, that's quarter manje. Dava mu club, hapa na jipande. Kemria razo badara. My flow so sick, kunge muna.
Senden Likes aus unserem Käfig. Was ist falsch und wer liegt richtig? Verrückte mit Skalpell und die Welt auf dem OP-Tisch. Mit Propheten und Posaunen, aus dem Regen in die Traufe. Wir sind blind mit auf den Augen. Blind mit auf den Augen.
Many people nowadays got an opinion. I see them changing like reptilian comedians. We entering the final stage into oblivion, but the righteous will rise up and conquer over dominions. It's not about the money we accumulate, cause no one can buy their way to heaven, enter the pearly gates. It's not about politics or who you hate, it used to be about love, now check the murder rate. I'm looking up at heaven for a miracle.
Yo, welcome to our viewers. Welcome, we're out of the Shebeen. Right now, this is Vuli Sitoli speaking. Out of the Shebeen. I got my co-host.
Yeah, Ino is out here in the Shebeen today. Yeah, welcome. It's happening. It's going on. It's gonna be one of those days where it's fire. It's fire.
So our guest is hip hop mogul.
Oh no.
Mogul.
Somebody you don't do one thing, right? Like, I mean, for you, like it's music, it's filmmaking. You were also in South Africa on the road to fame.
Yes, sir.
And then you're on MTV as well.
Yes, sir.
And now you're in Germany with the Söhne Mannheims.
Yes, sir.
You've also got your wine out.
Accolades.
Yes, sir.
You've got your mbanje out.
Yes, sir.
What a CV, man. What a CV.
Thank you.
So today with Metaphysics, a lot of people from my generation might not know him.
Yeah.
Right.
Or might not know much of him.
Right.
So we're here today to show you guys a little bit more of
90s
who Metaphysics is.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for over 30 years now, yeah?
It's been a while, eh?
30 years plus. Wow. Definitely. Been at it for a minute.
For a minute.
Yeah.
So we're here today to find out, exactly where Metaphysics comes from and, what he's doing, what he's up to.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's get in. Let's do this. So this is the Shebeen.
This is Shebeen. Welcome to Shebeen.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, man.
Hey, nice, man.
Glad to catch you in between your busy schedule. You just came back from Zim.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations on 30th anniversary.
Anniversary piece of ebony. Thank you.
30 years, piece of ebony.
Yes. Longevity.
So where did it start, mate, with piece of ebony, man? Like, I know you with Chiwoniso, Tony Chihota.
Exactly.
Legwan Shaki.
100%.
Man, like, tell us about that. Like, how did you guys all come together as creators, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, we, grew up in an era where music was just finding its voice, especially hip hop music was finding its voice in Zimbabwe. And it's just something we gravitated towards through the breakdance culture, through the dance culture. A lot of people in my generation started traveling more. So a lot of people would go to the UK or the States and come back with this new art form, these videotapes with MTV. And it was, we were just part of the movement at the time and thought, we need to get in on this. It wasn't even a conscious decision. It was just the vibe of the time. And going to Prince Edward, what I mean? PE.
All you guys are from.
We are PE boys. PE boys, straight. So PE was very influential in terms of developing my artistic sense.
Okay.
And then after failing O-levels, I was sent to Kosa College where I met Tony. and it just made sense that we keep up with the shenanigans. So what we used to do is spend a lot of time at the Wine Barrel. Wine Barrel was a bar at Monomatapa. At the hotel.
Okay.
And at that place, a lot of artists used to frequent. Tendai Mparutsa used to play there, do his music, and then you're just in that environment. And what. So Fortune, excuse me, Fortune.
It's also Tendai, you're right.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just a natural progression, man. Natural progression.
So you said like I was reading your bio and you said Terry Mahati, an XP boy as well, taught you how to write.
Yeah. Because Piece of Ebony was not my first group. We had a group called Lethal Language with Terry Mahati before that, and that had a lot of resonance. We were one of the first groups to be featured in the Source magazine. Hip Hop Connection out of London. Tim Westwood used to play our music on the BBC. We were signed to a label called Hollywood Basic, which was part of the Disney Channel at the time. And coming out of Hollywood Basic was groups like Tribe Called Quest, Pharaoh Monk, the Organized Confusion. So we were one of the first groups to be signed on an international scale. And unfortunately, like Terry and the other guys, because they were older, decided to pursue other things. Terry started a clothing line, Kunte Kinte Clothing. So I was left with no choice but to create something new, and then Piece of Ebony was So
I mean, you're in Piece of Ebony with the legend Chiwoniso Chi.
Yes, definitely.
How was that experience? You guys were like best friends?
We were family. And to be honest, like the Maraire family still play a very big role in my musical journey. This time around, I got to spend a lot of time with Baba Maraire, and he's an amazing character. He's worked with Lauryn Hill. He's just come back from playing the Carnegie Hall. His tour dates are insane. And he happened to be in Zimbabwe this time around, and just that Maraire connection, that family somehow that family has always been part of my musical journey somehow, so family, it's family.
You actually got like a new album coming up with Piece of Ebony. You actually got a track coming up with Chingeto.
You've done your research.
Sorry to cut you guys. But what's the timeline? Because like some people really want to know
when you blew up,
when you actually met Chiwo and.
Oh, okay. So yikes. 1992 is the first official date that we can say Piece of Ebony came into inception. So 1992.
I was like a few months old, man.
Yeah, man. We were all kids as well. And Chiwoniso had just come back from Seattle, and she was fresh, and she had the hip hop vibe. She had that, and she was also a very young girl. There's a lot of instances where you only see pictures of me and Tony. That's because she was so young, her dad wouldn't let her go to photo shoots or go to events. She was a kid, she was a baby, you know what I mean? But she had like this talent that was just beyond us. And after Piece of Ebony, obviously she went on to, just create a name for herself and did amazing things. But till the day of her death, we were family, we were friends, we were connected, still making music. It was just a natural, organic relationship.
Okay, and like, do you feel the same thing with Chingeto as well? Like, would you work on Piece
it's so weird because Chingeto comes and she refers to me as Uncle Herb, Uncle Meta. So it's so weird. Like, wow, I'm here making music with the daughter of Chiwoniso, you know what I mean? It's just and it's a total, and she has so much of her mother's attributes, and just it's like being with Chi somehow, like a Chi 2.0. You know what I mean? So it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's like talk about making your name for yourself, right?
Yeah, man.
I think we're talking about the name Metaphysics.
how the name came about? So I was in New York. Jeez, man. After Piece of Ebony, I went to South Africa. After South Africa, I moved to New York, pursuing the hip-hop dream. And back then, I had a very sloppy name. and I was in New York, and I was invited to a store in New York, and a lot of guys were smoking weed in the basement, and so I thought it was just a social gathering. I didn't realize that I'd been invited to a hip-hop battle. I had no idea that that's what was about to go down. So a piece of paper started going around the room, and I was the first one to be given the paper, and they said, hey, please write your name on the paper. So I thought, oh, they want to what? Invite us again back to this thing, to smoke weed. So I put my name, Herbert. Then I was about to write my address and say, yo, man, what you doing? I said, he just took the paper. How's he going to contact me? Then I saw the paper going around the room.
Yeah.
And then we smoked. We got high. I forgot about that paper. They were playing beats. Then the beats stopped. See? All right, y'all, we're about to start the battle. First up on the battle, because I was first on the list, we got Herbert. We got Herbert. And he's going against Mad Dog McGree or whatever the guy's name is. I said shit. The next time I go to a New York hip hop battle, I got to come with a name that's heavy. Yeah. So I went back. I was staying in Brooklyn at the time. I went back to our little apartment on Nostrand Avenue, Brooklyn. And I thought, what is the name that's next time when I get there? What am I going to introduce myself as? Never got back to that place. I was never invited again. With a name like Herbert. You know what? I took out the first two, but I think they gave me like low pedigree guys, because a lot of the guys that ended up being in the battle, later on in life, I started recognizing them like having like major hip hop careers. You know what I mean? They became, like famous stars. So then they gave me like the underdog tier, and I tore them up. But then I saw the level just getting like high. The standard just, I was like, oh shit, this is for real. I'm in New York. This is the real deal. You know what I mean? So I fared well amongst the nobodies, but when it got to the real thing, it was an eye opener for me. I was like, I got to step up my game. So that really created the whole persona, and like it really increased my penmanship as Metaphysics. Yeah.
You got many names. You got Metaphysics. You got Herbie Diamond.
Gandanga.
Gandanga. I mean, like
Dirty Fangs.
What's with the aliases? Like, why do you have so many aliases?
All right, so the name Metaphysics can confine you because a lot of people start expecting you to talk about a certain topic constantly. But sometimes I want to just talk about some bitches, or I want to talk about some grimy shit. So I had to create separate personas so that people don't expect that, oh, he's only going to come with metaphysical kind of spiritual, because that name is very confining. I learned that in time. And then I also realized that, like for me, the whole culture of hip hop, I take it as if it's filmmaking. Yeah. So Bruce Willis, we know he's Bruce Willis. Schwarzenegger. Yeah. We know who he is really. Yeah. But then when he's Terminator, he's in that role. Yeah. Or, when it's Die Hard or whatever. So I was like, oh, I have to approach this like a movie. So each character is a chapter in a series pretty much. So these are just, like personas that are created for a particular series. So I'd approach it from a filmmaking perspective. Yeah.
I need to. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Having a meta into it. But there's one story we missed. You asked him a question about how Piece of Ebony
came together.
And you talked about did you say the wine barrel or?
Wine barrel at Monomotapa.
Yeah, and you were listening to Fortune Barrel.
Exactly. Well, we were in the environment with him.
I want to hear
the creation.
The Leguan Shaki part.
Oh, Leguan, yeah.
Yo, we're talking about over 35 years plus in the game. If I was to like really get intricate on the story, we'd only be stuck on that one topic. I'm editing this I'm doing it for you. I'm doing this for you because it's within each chapter of my life. it's been a process. It's been a lot going on. But my partner at the time, Tony Chiota, has just written a book called The Beginning, where he really goes through the inception of Piece of Ebony, what we went through in South Africa. And I would encourage anybody who's really interested to get a copy of The Beginning, because it really breaks down Piece of Ebony in that sense. So
beginning, right?
Beginning, Tony
Beginning,
Chiota. You know what to do, guys.
Guys, go on.
yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. I was telling you guys that even where the books are printed in Zimbabwe, I was like,
Yeah, you were just anyway.
like they print books in Zimbabwe. Mujabin. And by the way, everything in Zimbabwe this time around is a Shebeen. Everyone's turned their house into a restaurant, into Shebeen. Now you can go to your neighbor and have a party, and so I feel at home right here. I feel at home. I feel at home right now. Hey man, I am Zimbabweans. Affiliate, my affiliate Shebeen. Franchise. You guys are franchise the Shebeen. Sorry about that, but if I was to get into details, man, it would take forever. 92 was a very long year for us. 93, 94, 95.
But
So
I'm so interested with Legwan.
Legwan Shaki, Legwan Shaki.
I saw Legwan when I was in Zimbabwe. He was I don't want to say deported, but he was sent back to Zim. I saw him back in Zimbabwe. Amazing artist. I knew Legwan before I knew Tony, because Legwan also went to PE, so it keeps that culture alive. Yeah, he's a PE boy. He's a PE boy. Four. I was in form 4B4. He was in 4B5 or something like that. Yeah. So we you see, people don't realize that Legwan was the first icebreaker in terms of getting his identity out there. He did adverts for Dandy chewing gum. So when I went to school, Form 1, and I said, like, that's the guy from the Dandy advert. I need to connect with that guy. How did he get on TV? What? And then the friendship just budded from there. So I knew Legwan before all this Piece of Ebony and all of that stuff. In fact, the first demo I ever recorded with Lethal Language, Legwan was doing backing vocals in that. So Legwan, Chioniso, Tony, like I said, it was just organic because we were all part of the same environment. We went to the same schools, hung out at the same bars. It was, you know what I mean? It's just, Tiriko, we're hanging out. So that's how it came into play.
So you leave New York, and funny story, you actually come to Germany as a layover, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you end up staying here.
Yeah.
What the hell happened then, man?
All right, so I was dating an American girl, and she was like, come over, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got there, she switched up on me. I think her mom got it, intervened, because she was doing well at school. She was at Stanford. And I think her mom thought I was going to distract her from her school and, just the path that God had chosen for her. Yeah. So when I got there, it was a different vibe. So out of anger, I was like, you know what? I'm going home. I'm going to go reset, because I needed the green card. You know what I mean? And we had talked about it in Zimbabwe before I left, that, you're going to hook me up so I can stay. I don't need your money. I don't need anything from you. I just need the documentation. So out of anger, I left. Okay. And then it hit me when I was in Switzerland, like, you're going back. So I wasn't ready to, you know what I mean? So I went to the immigration, and to be honest, I thought, I got such a long layover. At least if I get out and see Switzerland and just walk around, at least I saw a bit of Europe. So I went to immigration, said, is it possible for me to just leave for like the duration of the, till the next flight? And they were like, what passport do you have? And I'm blessed. My dad had hooked me up a German passport years ago. So I showed them the passport. They're like, you can go wherever you want in Europe. I said, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, you can just, you're German. So I was like, I can go to Germany, because I was in Switzerland. I can go to Germany? and I had $100 US with me. And I bought a ticket, man. I bought a ticket to the only city that I could remember was Cologne, because my dad came from there. So I bought a ticket to Cologne. and it cost me $99, and they gave me one Deutschmark. They gave one Deutschmark. So I arrived at Cologne, as I called it then, because I read the name. I'd never seen a name like that.
You don't know anyone. That's the thing you have to do.
So you knew nobody in Cologne.
I knew no one. I knew nobody.
And you're just like, I'm just gonna go.
I'm going. I'm going. Yeah. So I get there, and now I'm at Hapatapanov. I'm at the Hapatanov. So I'm at the train station, Hauptbahnhof.
Yes.
And I'm like, shit, what have I done?
Yeah.
So I'm going through my Filofax. Like those days, we didn't have cell phones. So I had my book of contacts.
Wow.
And there was one guy's number that a guy I'd met in Zimbabwe like 5 years before. And I thought, my one Deutschmark, make this call.
Yes.
From the call box at Cologne. Hello? Eno, maybe you don't remember me. This is Herb. We met in Zimbabwe like 5 years ago. I'm kind of stuck. I'm in Germany.
Yeah.
And he said, where are you? And I said, in a town called Cologne. He said, I live in Cologne. I said, no way. I said, no way. No way. No way. Where are you? I said, I'm at the Hapatapatapo. He said, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And he came and he picked me up. And I was exhausted. It was an exhausting trip. That psychologically it wore me out. So I get to his apartment. He's like, are you hungry? I'm like, yeah. He throws me a box of Miracoli. And I'm thinking, what is this? And he's like, yeah, that's spaghetti. And then I open the box. I'm like, oh shit, this shit has the cheese, the spices, and everything in the thing. Made my Miracoli or whatever it's called, Miracoli. Went to sleep like a champion that night, feeling like, whew, the heavens took care of me. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, Germany, I can't believe I'm here. I woke up, Enno was still sleeping, and I opened the windows just to see Germany now to really see it.
Yes.
And right across from Enno's house, from the window, there was a store called Groove Attack. And Groove Attack is the biggest record company for hip hop in Germany. And they had a store right across, and I was like, yo, I'm going to go. Yo, I'm going to the store.
Yeah.
So I walk into the store, and the guy who was working there, Giorgio, Italian guy, it's like, hey, hello, hey, foreigner, hey, how are you? where are you from? I said, New York, because I wasn't lying. I'd come from New York.
Mm-hmm. Like the foreign guy.
I said, I'm from New York. He said, oh, you rap? I said, yeah. He said, let me make some calls. He made a call, and the Pushin brothers came and took me that same day. The next day, they took me into studio. I recorded my first song, and 2 weeks later, I had my first single in Germany, like vinyl. Like I still have the vinyl. Like I couldn't believe how easy it was. I said, I'm staying here. This is it. If it's this easy, this is a day, bro. A day. So
you fixed your dream up in $100.
Didn't expect it. So I think the heavens and the gods were just guiding a brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? And a couple of years later, like I've been here for a while. My son, was born, and it made sense. Like, oh, I was meant to be here. Otherwise, this guy would never exist. You know what I mean? So it just all made sense.
Are you still in contact with Eno?
Oh yeah. I saw Eno 3 nights ago. Yeah. We still good. We still good. It's one of those things, man. And a couple of years later, Eno was actually homeless. So I got to pay him back and let him stay with me for a couple of months. You know what I mean? So I paid my debt to society. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we share.
Exactly.
So, I mean, like, you come to Germany, you join Söhne Mannheims as well?
Yeah, that was also, because after I had that single, everybody wanted to work with me. And it was a month later, For Music, or Sony, or whoever it was, gave me my first publishing check. I made like more money than I could ever imagine. And then all these managers were coming up to me, and they were like, yo, you need to diversify. Would you try working with other groups and whatever? So sure, why not? So they sent me to Mannheim. I didn't know where that was. I actually went there because I just wanted to see Germany, and it was a free train ticket. So I was like, free trip. let me go see Mannheim.
Yeah.
And I went there and walked into the studio. I had no idea who Xavier was. Didn't care, actually. You know what I mean? Had no idea who the band was. And yeah, they're like, oh, you're good. So just record some stuff.
Yeah.
And a couple of months later, that stuff came out, and that record went like multi-platinum. And that just solidified my everything. Yeah, like, okay, this is home. This is it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Metaphysics, you've had a long career in terms of the music arena.
Yeah.
What is your biggest moment in your musical career?
Ooh, man.
Which one?
Honestly, I think I was born in Bari. And I lived in Kampuzuma with my mom because at the time when I was born, there was racial tension in Zimbabwe. I was born in 1973, so I was born during the time of apartheid. And when, exactly. So at age 5 or 6, independence came along, and then it was possible for my dad to now live with my mom. And for the first time, my dad took me to his home, to his house. And he had an organ, like a piano, like a keyboard. And I was like, wow, we have this?
Yeah, like, you know.
So I went and I turned this thing on. He showed me how it worked. And that was it. Like, music was my thing. After that, wow, I can do, wow.
I can play something.
Wow, we have this. With wow. So that's
just the biggest one.
that's like, that defined everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Independence and freedom opened the gates for me to be who I am. If Zimbabwe had never become independent, I would never have become a musician. I would never have seen an organ. I would have been in Kambuzuma somewhere selling motorito. Guka Makafela.
Talking about Zimbabwe and the whole hip hop industry, everything going on. What's your take on the
current state?
Yeah, I like it. The kids are doing their thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're finding their path. They're finding their avenue. You know, there's a lot of new talent coming out. Kiki Badass is doing her thing. 10 Diamond is doing his thing. He's ill. I just recently went to Shebeen and met Maskiri and Flexo, and you know, so there's a movement, but it doesn't equate to capital at this point. But a lot of guys are beginning to get international recording deals. They're getting signed to Universal Records in South Africa. So there's a movement, there's a vibe. And because of the job situation, a lot of young people have been forced to look at alternative methods of, you know, just whiling their time. So a lot of, you know, got their laptops now and programs like Fruity Loops, and they've become kick-ass producers, you know, during the course of just being exposed to the technology, the drive, and having a lot of ample time because you're unemployed. So they've become really good at their craft. So when I go to Zim, just the quality of music, just the passion, just the culture is different to like Germany. There people are living it because it's a do or die situation. So they're giving everything, you know what I mean? So I love that because it keeps me inspired. It keeps me up to date with current trends, the vibe, the music, what people are into. Right now, everything is Amapiano, for example. And you know, you can vibe to Amapiano online on YouTube, but it's only once you actually at a place and everyone is just around you is just getting down to this where you're like, oh shit, this is a thing. You know what I mean? I need to try some of this. Or you go to a dance hall thing and people are exploding and you're like, wow, this is actually a thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, like Chamisa, flying guy, you know what I mean? So in that aspect, I love it, man. I love it because it's current, it's hungry, it's innovative, it's creative, it's young people just doing their thing, and for me, it keeps me, you know, keeps me wanting to do this.
And I mean, like on the local scene right now in Zimbabwe, which kind of artists, like top five artists you say that you are doing, have caught your attention in terms of the up and coming artists?
That's a difficult question because a lot of the kids that are actually bubbling in the scene, I don't really know them. Yeah. So it's also a generational thing. So I kind of gravitate with my generation of artists. So like Flexo, you know, and that generation, the older generation, is who I kind of can refer to. But when I go on YouTube, or if I'm like, just going to a party, you start discovering that there's a lot going on in terms of just music coming out. So it's difficult. It's difficult for me to like put
The holy terms.
the whole. You know what I mean?
You in Zimbabwe for 4 months. If you had to pick one artist who caught your attention, at least, so to say, attention.
Whew, good question. Like,
Silas Mawende.
Silas.
nah, man. The thing is, it's so organic because everyone's working with everyone. It's not one artist. It's one movement.
One movement together.
You know what I mean? So everybody's part of that movement. So it's very difficult to pick one from that because everybody's on it. So it's more in terms of clicks. It's like there's you could say everything coming out of Chill Spot is hot. What Passion is doing and reviving the Passion Java and the artist he's cultivating. So it's these clicks.
Synergies.
So for me, like Chill Spot caught my attention in terms of how they've created the industry. So I'd say Chill Spot as a whole. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, like you're also a businessman as well. You've started quite a few different
Enterprises. Yes. Yeah.
So you started your wine.
Yeah.
Like what's the direction of that? Like, is this the wine?
The wine was actually a hobby, something that the idea came about when I was in Cape Town 4 years ago, and I was like, oh shit, I could do this. And
By the way, that wine is.
Thank you.
You guys got going.
Metaphysics.wine.
Wine.
Yeah. So it just started as a challenge to myself, like, how could I get this done? How could I, brand my own beverage? And initially I wanted to actually get the wine made in Cape Town. And then when you start doing the logistics and the shipping, I was like, there might be an alternative to just look in Germany. So I found an alternative winery here, and we just, I presented the concept, the idea. They liked it, and for me, my target group is obviously we do a lot of concerts with our band. So I was like, I can sell this as merchandise. It's an alternative. Everybody sells the same merchandise. Everybody's selling T-shirts, CDs, whatever. But a wine bottle sticks out. So, like when we do a Söhne show, and I take like a case with like 20 bottles, within 5 minutes they're all gone. And because it's such a novelty, I can put any price on the wine. So it's pretty high priced. It's pretty high priced, but the fans gravitate towards that. So the returns have been good, but it's not something that, like I want to become a beverage maker, what I mean? But I'm associated with a couple of beverages. My wine, there's a cannabis infused energy drink called Can Life that I work with. So yeah, pretty much that's how that came about with the wine.
Talking about cannabis, you actually also got like a CBD.
I got a CBD, and that came about again I registered for my farm. I wanted to grow cannabis in Zimbabwe, and the government made it just so difficult at the time getting your license and all of that. So again, I had to come back here and look for alternatives, and found suitable alternatives, and it's been quite an easy ride actually, setting up the whole CBD thing and pushing it. So right now it's distributed in like 40 to 50 outlets. I like to keep myself busy and just try and break the norms of being just an artist. So I like, and every Zimbabwean's an entrepreneur by nature. So
I think one of my biggest highlights of your entrepreneurial career, so to say, is the Groffy platform.
Groffy,
live streaming platform.
Exactly.
Pretty much. Also with artist management, it's a thing to do with blockchain management technology.
Exactly. I've also gone into the whole crypto world. I support a cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. I recently started marketing a new currency on the Binance chain. It's called Omnis. So I'm working very much with the Omnis team. And just recently, I started a collaboration with a company out of the UK called Genomic. And we're going to be one of the first guys to actually genetically sequence DNA and sell that as an NFT. So I got a huge NFT project right now that is based on genomes. And it's pretty exciting because I'm working with an amazing artist called Phil Harold out of Munich. He's confined to a wheelchair. He suffers from a disease called muscular atrophy. And he's only managed to develop to about this height. He's like a small guy confined to a wheelchair, can only move this finger. And with that, he creates the most amazing digital artworks.
How old is he?
He's just, today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Phil is 42, I think, today. But his artwork sits on the walls of Snoop, Eva Mendes, the Rolling Stones, Sting. He sold artwork to the manager of Bayern Munich, for example. It sits in the parliament of Germany. His artwork's everywhere. And we were like, yo, how can we take this to the next level? So instead of selling the art, I was, wow, what if we sold the artist? What if we broke him down to his DNA, the structure? And it's an exciting project because the NFT market is huge right now.
Yeah, talking about that, like, I mean, that's been a new market now for.
Yeah. And you know, like an artist called Beeple fetched like 60 million for one of his NFT collections. And I have a partner, Dr. Chris Plotz, who actually used to sell traditional art. And he sold an art piece at Christie's in London for 1.2 million pounds. So that kind of just gave me the, and here's the funny story. We were sitting in my garden in Zimbabwe watching the live stream of the auction. And this thing was like 500,000.
Wow.
And we were in our shorts. And then it was like, cha-ching, 1.2 million pounds. I was like, yo, Doc, do you know what just happened? So we flew back to Germany and straight to the ATM. He put in his card, and it was the first time I saw 1.2 million on an ATM machine, on an ATM fucking machine.
Wow, that's
so through that link, we got a good relationship with Christie's in London because what he did was groundbreaking in terms of that. So we're trying to do our NFT auction on the highest level. So we're roping in Snoop, we're roping in Sting. And yeah, we got an amazing artist, like I said, and I'm hoping for his sake that he, you know, gets a competitive price like a Beeple, for example. So I'm trying to go for those numbers. Yeah.
So, I mean, Meta, you're doing, like I said, all these things. Is there anything else?
I've just secured an offtake agreement for Hagebutte coming out of Lesotho. It makes teas. In English, it's called rose hip. So we've just secured an offtake agreement for 20,000 kgs of rose hip from Lesotho. I just finished my commission agreement last night. Actually, I drafted the first. I couldn't find the template, so I had to write my own agreement. So that's on the table. The diamond project that I have going on in Marange just got signed off by the president of Zimbabwe 3 days ago. So I'm doing the community project with the diamonds in Zimbabwe. I've been doing that for the last 8 to 9 years. The cannabis farm. Just a few things, man. Just a few things happening.
It's a meta world, man.
Oh, I'm going into the metaverse as well. So that's the next step. I've been in the metaverse for over 12 years on a platform called Second Life. People think metaverse started yesterday. There's a platform called Second Life that you need to check out if you're into the whole metaverse culture. And Second Life was one of the first platforms to actually have its own currency called the Linden dollar. So before all these cryptocurrencies existed, Second Life already had a platform where you could exchange your US dollar or whatever it was for Linden dollars. And they had an economy within the platform. So you could buy digital real estate. You could buy the kids from Fortnite know the skins for your characters and stuff like that. So the metaverse has existed for a very long time, and I've been engaged with the metaverse for over like 12 years. So I understand the dynamics of how that works. And I'm actually now trying to figure out how we can do the whole digital real estate, but attach it to actual real estate. So I've got a project called Fland, which is selling digital real estate, but you actually end up owning deeds to an actual property, and then we do property development and stuff like that. So
And this is all in the metaverse.
it's great. You see, what I'm trying to do is combine so that digital and just the real world aspects, and that's where it's going. You know what I mean? So I hooked up with Steve Magolis. His great grandfather started Olivin in Zimbabwe. Yeah. And he's just got land en masse. He's like a land mogul, and he's not really sure how to progress it to the next level. And his son, Leroy, actually studied in the UK and was responsible for setting up the crypto platform for Lloyd's of London. So he understands the whole crypto thing. So he's a young guy and he's about it. So we were like, yo, how can we turn crypto contracts and crypto deeds into so we're working on that right now. That's another.
Create an oracle, is that it?
Oracle does exist, but trying to kind of just create it for the African market, and give people that opportunity. And Africa's big on crypto.
Yeah, like
I
I see, like with Akon as well. He has he's building a town or something.
Yeah. Smart cities is the way to go. Like green cities, smart cities, and I have a lot of older generation Zimbabweans who are all about forward thinking, off the grid. Cities that green cities with the solar, with self-generating, self-sustaining infrastructure and stuff like that. So that's next on the line. If this NFT sells the way it's supposed to, then we're going into big. I mean, we go. I want. Not even the moon. I'm thinking more like Cecil John Rhodes, man. Pick out my own little country and say, hey, welcome to the metaverse. Yeah, welcome to the metaverse. Metisha. Yeah. So I stay busy, man. But sometimes it begins to overlap, and I try to avoid doing a lot these days. Less is more.
How do you manage all things? I mean, like you've had a long career, like music, you got filmmaking, you got all these things. How do you juggle everything?
I say to everybody that asks me that question that you got to have fun doing it. Yeah. It's got to be fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. Yeah. And a lot of people do things for the wrong intentions. I do it 1 to learn, 2 to disrupt, and 3 to have fun while doing that. I was born in a time where and it's still to today in Zimbabwe, where if you don't create your own opportunity, nothing's going to happen for you. So I like being disruptive and creating opportunities that normally a person like me shouldn't be. I shouldn't be talking on a presidential level about diamonds. I shouldn't be establishing networks for Hagabutter. Like, what is that? Like these things. Why would he be there? This Rasta rapper, and for me that brings me a lot of joy. Like, you know what I mean? Exactly. What's your degree again? Okay. All right. You got a degree in what? Okay. All right. Come work for me. Come work for me, man. I might have a job for you. I might. Yeah, I might. Leave your CV with my secretary.
Give me a call.
Don't call me. I'll call you. So I like disrupting and having fun while doing it. And it keeps me occupied. Germany's a cold place. I'm most of the time sitting at home. What else am I going to do with my time? You know what I mean? It's either I sit there, watch other people achieving stuff, or try to engage and, get in on the action. Yeah, man.
Well, I'll ask about Culprit as well.
Yeah, your brother.
My younger brother.
Wait, pause. Culprit is the only Zimbabwean they've had on the Billboard list. Is that chart?
Well, Tinashe.
Oh, Tinashe is...
Tinashe.
Okay, Tinashe as well.
Yeah. So, yes, that's my younger brother. Great artist. A great friend. Great ally. somebody that I get along with. You know, a lot of people don't get along with their siblings. I get along. I get along with my brother like this. You know what I mean? So the NFT idea actually was his. This project that we're working on. We got drunk just like this. We got drunk and then we were just like, imagine you could do that. And I was like, shit. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this. Yeah.
Now we're here.
No.
Yeah,
man.
man.
It's been a pleasure having you, Shebeen.
Thank you. We didn't drink, man. Let's you guys just talk a lot. You know, I didn't see any drinking going on. What kind of Shebeen is this? Yes, Finton, thanks for hosting. Thanks for having us in the Shebeen. I heard you said the
man behind the scenes. And shout out to Finton right there.
Yeah, Finton, our cameraman. Yeah, man. Yannis.
Belgium.
Yeah, man.
And shout out to you, DJ Lempi, right here in Zimbabwe. He's another Shebeen king.
Word up.
FM 103.8.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, catch him there.
All right.
For the Shebeen, we're out. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you the next show. Peace and love from Vuli. I'm out.
I think we have to play the.
Wait. Pause. So, Piece of Ebony has a album that's coming out.
It's coming out. It's called Pioneers.
It's called Pioneers. You know, we're gonna beat down one track.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Maybe Meta can just throw,
freestyles.
How's it? Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Out now, so go get it.
Spotify, YouTube, back.
Oh, this features BK and Kaz. Out in the UK. Talented boys as well. Yeah. Hey yo, welcome to the H. I got the key to the city. It's a struggle to survive, but we hustle like Nipsey. We travel worldwide just to get the pesos, while it stays fat like a pocket of potatoes. On my block, Mabel Ray shops. But you gotta watch the cops, cause Mapurisa Emuno Muharari, Andy Brown sang it while playing his guitar. We got a problem with meth heads, it's no joke. Uptown they do coke. Mahure. We out. Older rabbit sure, but still holler at the honeys. Yeah, man.
One of my music.
One on my Kuri say
Yeah, KG for it.
I'm in the streets every day, getting that dog, getting that dog.